Chapter 7. Intriguing Narrations. One night in April 1968, while I was profoundly asleep, I heard shouts and noises as if from people breaking glass and fighting in the street. Fearing that eventually they could break the glass of my car, which was parked in the street, I got up, took my slippers and pants, and went through the corridor. I crossed the room and, raising the curtain, looked through the window and discovered with surprise that there were no people there, no noises. Instead, there was peace and tranquility. The street was totally illuminated, and my car in a perfect state. Thinking that everything was just the outcome of an illusion or nightmare, I walked back again through the corridor to the door of my bedroom. Thus, when I opened the door and walked a few steps, I was astounded when seeing myself profoundly asleep in the bed and next to my wife. I was with my arms out and on the blankets, the left leg totally uncovered, and my face resting on its left side. When seeing this scene, a great terror entered me. Then I felt myself being attracted towards my body as if it was a strong magnet. Then I woke up very frightened, with strong beats of my heart and a cold sweat over all of my body. Can you tell me what actually happened? Samael Aunwior. This is a concrete case of what is called an astral projection. Your soul became detached from your physical body. It is clear that during common, ordinary, normal sleep, every soul leaves the body and wanders around. It goes to different places. Thereafter, it returns to its physical body at the precise moment of waking up. Indeed, the vigil state starts when the soul again enters its body of bones and flesh. The intriguing aspect of your case is that when you, as soul, went back to your bedroom, you could see your physical body sleeping in the bed. You saw it in the same manner as when you can see a table or a car in order to drive it. Likewise, you as a soul entered in the body, woke up, and came to the vigil state. So this is what happened to you. In the year 1958, when I went back to my home after watching a movie in a cinema, I found my family very preoccupied because of the disappearance of an aunt who had gone out to the street, leaving alone in the house her children, 4 from 3 to 6 years old, who were crying from fear and hunger. My relatives had gone to several places to look for her, yet everything had been useless. They were organizing themselves in order to go look and ask for her everywhere. They decided that I must remain in the house. About 3 o'clock in the morning, alarmed, I woke up and saw the room was totally dark. Then, all of a sudden, in the center of the room, an oval-shaped figure began to be illuminated. It came to my bed, arrived at the edge of it, and raised the mosquito net. On the edge of my bed, I felt something like a body sit, which then totally took the figure of my aunt who they were looking for. She told me in a loud voice the following: "Dear one of mine, do not be scared. I am your aunt. I have just come to tell you that I am already dead, and I want you to tell them where they can find my corpse. Locate your uncle and tell them that they must look for me at police station X. I very much request from you to take care and pray for my children." Thereafter she got up, lowered the mosquito net, and disappeared. The next day I did what she told me to do, yet nobody believed me until they were convinced that indeed the deformed corpse of my aunt, because she died within a steam bath, was in that police station. How is it possible that after having died, a person can give data for the location of her corpse and request care for her children? Samael Aunwior. My friend, after the death of the physical body, the soul lives in the superior dimensions of nature and the cosmos. We already stated this in a previous chapter, but it is not irrelevant to repeat it. It is clear that that soul needed to inform you about the death of her body. That report was necessary since she had children and she had to fulfill her duties. Undoubtedly, in this case, that soul was assisted by the superior laws which allowed her to enter into the three-dimensional world in which we live in order to give you complete information about the location of her corpse. A fact which was properly verified, since the body was found exactly in the place where she said that it was, that is, in a police station. So facts are facts, and before the facts we must surrender. In one of the Gnostic meetings, a person approached me and requested that I pray for the health of her mother, who was practically hopeless. Thus, I promised her that I would do whatever I could for her mother's healing. Later, I beseeched the angel Adonai for his assistance. Thus, I imagined that I was at the house of the lady, a lovely elderly lady who I found laid down on her bed, and who, when seeing me, gladly smiled. She sat upright, and I put my right hand on her forehead and my left touching her heart. Likewise, I strongly concentrated on the Master Jesus for him to help me. I saw how she recovered and, smiling, accompanied me to the door of her house. In the next meeting, the person who had requested the aid, almost with tears in her eyes, came to thank me and tell me that her mother had recovered and sent me greetings because she had seen me. How is it possible that two people solely by faith have obtained an almost miraculous treatment? My friend, faith performs miracles. This is why the Divine Master Jesus said, "If ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you." Matthew 17:20. It is clear that when you imagined in a vivid manner being next to the bed of the patient, a projection of your psyche took place. Your soul traveled towards the patient and healed the patient with the aid of the Divine Master. Do not be surprised that she has seen you, since when the soul is projected, this is often made visible, even at remote distances. Have you not heard of saints who did the same thing, who, during prayer and in a state of ecstasy, were seen in other places healing the ill? 4. In another meeting in which we were performing spiritual healing, a lady who was approximately 60 years old arrived. She had very deep knife wounds on her arms, wounds which she showed to all the assistants. After we repeated the words of the conjuration that the Master pronounced, he asked her in the following meeting. She showed her arms again. We then saw that the wounds were almost healed. Then we repeated the same procedure, and upon the third meeting, she once again showed us her arms. Then, with surprise, we saw that where once there was only open flesh, not even a scar of the wound could be found. What happened in order for this person to heal so perfectly and quickly? Samael Aunwer. Now I understand that you are talking about Gnostic meetings. Certainly, those meetings are very interesting. Remember that the primitive Christians were Gnostics who performed wonderful treatments. Therefore, do not be surprised that in those meetings, under the guidance of a master who instructs such a congregation, another similar miracle has been performed. Gnostics invoke the divine beings who live in the invisible world so that they can perform these types of treatments. Thus, there is no doubt that this is what happened, and this is why the patient was radically healed. 5. Around the year 1962, approximately the month of November, days in which I had scarcely begun to attend the Gnostic lectures, a gentleman of rare aspect, whose face reflected preoccupation, and who had a vague and mysterious glance, presented himself, requesting help in order to remove from his body some tenebrous entities which were hurting him and producing a swelling in his legs, which he showed to us. The Master acceded and pronounced the conjuration of the seven. He performed some magnetic passes upon him. Then the individual began to twist, shout, howl, and complain as if feeling immense pain. At the same time, he was performing gesticulations and movements as if some ominous thing was coming out of him. Thereafter, a strong nauseous scent began to permeate the environment. Then there was a pause in which it seemed to have rested. The master then clapped his hands 3 times, and the man got up, saying that he did not remember anything. In 3 sessions, his legs became perfectly well, and he did not complain about the ominous entities anymore. Could you explain what happened and how this treatment was possible? Samayan unaware. These are cases of possessed people that the Christian gospel refers to. Jesus put his hand on the possessed people and commanded that the demons leave the body of the possessed, and it is clear that they obeyed. The apostles also received such power. Jesus granted such authority to them. This is how they could exorcise the demons and throw them out of the bodies of the patients so that they could be healed. Therefore, the case that you tell me is not a unique case. Diseases are produced precisely by tenebrous entities that introduce themselves within the body of the ill. Many native tribes of America know these mysteries. I know cases of many native priests who exorcise their patients before healing them. This they do with the same purpose of eliminating these tenebrous entities that cause the disease. If our physicians would follow the example of these native healers, it is obvious that they would make wonders in the field of medicine. So, the concrete case that you mention is hardly abnormal. The patient was exorcised and was healed, and that is all. Do not forget that rue and sage smudges can be used in the exorcisms. These are 2 wonderful plants.